Welcome back. Cutting off federal funding to teaching hospitals who deliver gender transitioning surgery and therapies to minors. Congressman Dan Crenshaw says it's necessary to counter what he calls pseudo-science and to avoid irreversible damage to tens of thousands of vulnerable children. Panel, what's your point? I'm going to start with you, Chris Tritico.
You know, I've thought about this issue a whole lot, and I do not in any form or fashion agree with any of the rhetoric attacking transgender people. But I could support not allowing the surgery of someone under the age of majority, because I don't think that someone who's under the age of majority has had time to sufficiently decide what they're going to be. And so I think that they should have a chance to go pass through puberty, and I know that that's a lot to think about, but pass and decide what's going to happen, because you change your mind about a lot of things, and there's some things you just can't put back together. And so I don't think that our government should be blocking people from wearing the clothes they want to wear, saying that they're a girl when they're a guy, but we should. I don't think a bill that says we're not going to allow these surgeries is a problem.
I want to be real clear. Crenshaw says when people reach the age of adulthood, 18, they should be able to do whatever they want. That's a fundamental freedom. Sue, you want to wade in here?
I think the congressman should spend his time on more important issues that affect, you know, the larger population. These are really very difficult decisions for families to be in and for decisions to be made. And the decisions should be made by the family and not by congresspeople that decide what they think is right when they don't have real knowledge of what is going on. And I agree with Chris. I think some of these decisions can be left for the person themselves to make when they become an adult. But other decisions need to be made, and Crenshaw should worry about bigger issues that affect more of the citizens, and like our energy crisis, like the border crisis, like different things that we need to solve. Use his resource and effort on that, and leave families alone to deal with their own problems.
Okay, our Sunday survey reflects what is the majority view in Texas, and that they don't believe that federal money should be used for this, and kind of a big stick he's talking about here, taking away money. Bill, your thoughts here, and then we're going to go.
Well, I understand what the bill does. It takes away any money if you do these procedures, not just to finance these procedures, but any money that you would get for research. You know, this issue I find very difficult to get my brain around. One thing I'll say about waiting to 18, apparently to do this, you have to start the puberty blocking drugs well before the age of 18. And so if you're a parent facing this, you really are forced to make some decisions earlier than 18 about how to do it. You know, I don't really understand the issue, but I will say this. You know, at some point in time, we got to decide, are the parents in charge of their children or not? You know, and we were last week complaining about Katie not telling parents, and now we're telling parents that even if you make the decision that this is what your child needs, you're not going to allow the parent to make that decision. You know, I don't know. I kind of trust parents to do what they think is best for their kids and not just assume that they've been misled or bullied by somebody. I think most parents do a pretty good job of taking care of their kids.
Marcus, 45 seconds.
You know, there's been some great points that said here, starting with Bill. This is not about the issue, whether I agree or disagree. The idea that a legislator is saying we want to tell the parent what the parent should or shouldn't do goes against the values of the GOP. It is government overreach, right? In my opinion, right? Well, and this is not to say I agree with the legislation or don't agree with the legislation, but it is telling a parent that you can't make the decision about your child and what they're going to do. But also, going back to Sue's point, I don't think this is what we should be spending our time on as a nation. I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm certainly certain that it is not the main thing. So to craft a legislation that deals with a minuscule issue is problematic. On the other side, a party that promotes these types of things, that causes the rebuttal also is equally as petty.
Final 30 to you, Bob.
I think protecting children from what many believe is child abuse is very important, and I think Congressman Crenshaw can focus on a lot of different things at the same time, as your interview with him will indicate when you see the entire thing. So this is a very critical issue. Many people believe that particularly performing these kinds of treatments, the medical treatments and the surgeries with prepubescent children, who have no idea who they are. They don't know who they are, what they want to be when they grow up. They haven't figured out any of that. And that's child abuse.